Hey everybody, welcome. This is day 7 of the Consulting Accelerator course, and I am very excited because there's only, day 7, and then I'm going to recap to share a review about everything that I've learned, right? And so, or how I've implemented and how things have changed from the beginning to the end. You've seen the progression, but I do have a few things I want to share on that last video. I think it'll be very beneficial. It falls right in line with a lot of online courses that I've been through and things that I've studied, and so I'm sure you're going to fly right through this lesson. There's a lot he says, but it's another one of those. It's pretty easy to understand. We just have to put it into practice. First, go back and check out the trial. The link is in the description so that you can go and check out that training. The rest of us are going to start applying the training right now. Stick with me. If not, go back and check out day 1, right? Start from the beginning. Since today is about resonating your message, it sounds like we're going to start learning how to communicate better in our business, right? Remember my last video when I was stumbling through phrases trying to tell you my offer? Well, if not, let's take a look for a second. Okay, so my offer would be, and it's going to evolve for sure, I can help you choose a discounted property through a venue that I'm going to share that matches your criteria and helps you save money on things like notaries and title fees. Okay, so in the result being that you will have a place to stay when you come to Italy. One of the advantages of doing these videos is that I can go back and I can see myself learning and fix my mistakes. It's much like role-playing or talking in the mirror. It's very beneficial and you should definitely try it and give it a go. Today we learn how our message impacts the growth or stagnation of our business. And Sam explains it very well. I've seen it explained in the past, but he explains it very well, makes it very clear and easy to understand, and ties it in with this whole week's learning about our niche and our offer and the result that the client desires, right? What I want to concentrate on is how what I want to concentrate on is how this lesson has impacted the way that I share my message. Now, I haven't had a lot of chances since 2 days ago to really adapt or talk to people in my niche, but I did have a chance of some weeks ago on a trip to Rome, and we're going to talk about that. Now, I didn't have a big opportunity to find people in my niche during the last day or two since the last video, but I had watched this video previously before traveling to Rome where I was able to talk to some people in my niche, and here in a moment we're going to talk about how I was able to implement the teachings of this video. It really opened my eyes on the way I present myself, not just in business, but in every moment of my life. Here's an example. Hi, how are you doing? What do you do? We see this kind of this question asked daily in our lives. Hi, what do you do? Hey, I cut dog's hair. Hey, what do you do? I clean toilets. Hey, what do you do? I'm a stay-at-home dad. Hey, what do you do? I play video games, right? Whatever message is conveyed changes and adapts the way that the listener perceives this conversation. I've always had this thing that's held me back regarding feeling fake or acting in a way that isn't me, right? And this is why I can't make it big on the big screen. I have no interest in acting, and even like expressing myself vocally is a challenge for me to be interesting. I have one of those generally monotone voices. Ever since marrying my wife, this sensation has increased because what she talks about when people exaggerate or exaggerate accomplishments, for example. We measure each other based on our accomplishments, and if we say we've done something but it was really less of something, that gets to her a little bit, right? And so that added to this I don't know what to call it, this added to this behavior of mine where I don't want to exaggerate as much because it'll bother my wife, right? And she's around me every day. Over the last 6 years of marriage, almost, I've adapted to this type of behavior, so I don't displease this side of her. and it's actually had an impact on the way my desires to be a part of this niche of real estate. And since I hadn't been since it's not been my main source of income, I feel that she feels that I shouldn't pretend to be that, right? And so what's interesting, so this has been there looming over me for some time now, and it's not her fault. This is just my adaptation to her interests, right? When I started implementing the training from day 7 of this course, something clicked in my mind. And I'm not saying that I can be more fake, or that I'm comfortable in not being myself, or now I could go be a movie star. But something clicked, and I don't really feel shame anymore for expressing who my desired self, right? Expressing that I work in this category of real estate, expressing that I'd like you to click the subscribe button, expressing that I'd like you to click the like button. This perception that I have of what I do, I can express freely that I do real estate, I also teach English, I do this, I do that, and without feeling like I'm exaggerating the point. And even my wife, after talking to me about this, she has a deeper understanding for why I say I work in real estate to people when it's not my main source of income, right? Anyway, so it's been a benefit, and I've actually really enjoyed this feeling of freedom that's come from, and you might think I'm crazy for this, but the sense of freedom that's come by expressing this message. The few times that I've been able to relay my message to someone that's inside my niche has taught me hundreds of thousands times more than I could have ever learned sitting on my couch thinking about the day that I will be a part of this niche, right? So this is me expressing to you right now that if you have a desire to be a part of a community or a niche, just go and do it, and there's nothing that should hold you back. I have often sat on the sidelines watching other people doing it, learning a lot from that experience, but I've learned a lot faster, a lot more being a participant in it. I would have really liked to create a video about me sharing my message and showing you first person point of view what it's like for me to share my message, this message with someone. For now, this will have to do. If that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure that I prioritize it in some upcoming videos. Again, if there's something else you'd like to know about, go ahead and put it down there, and I will prioritize that video. For now, we're going to talk about how that my message has adapted so far. For now, I'm just going to reconstruct my message based on the feedback that I've received. First of all, while researching online, I've noticed, and you've probably noticed too, that anything regarding real estate in Italy is luxurious, sexy, trendy, expensive, and that makes for a really nice story, right? And I get it, it's attractive. At least I know a way that I can position myself in this market to be perhaps even different. When speaking to people in my niche, I will learn how to focus on them, as I mentioned in the last clip. Let's check it out. Sam, we talked very briefly, and honestly, I would consider this a big learning lesson. Some people would call it a failure in this conversation specifically. This Sam and I had this brief encounter where he said, "What do you do? Why are you here?" I said, "I'm here. I help Americans buy property in Italy," and I just left it at that, and he came back and said, "Well, how much does it cost?" And when people ask that question, usually they're actually interested, kind of looking for it. They've had that consideration before, and so this went well. This part of the conversation was going well, and I was talking about, that portion went well. It's the next step where I didn't do what I probably should have been prepared to do. We like talking to the niche, right? And I knew all these things previously, but what we need to do is ask questions, find out more about them before we provide a solution. We were in just conversation. I wasn't trying to sell anything, but I could have learned a lot more about my market if I was being smarter. And so what happened was is I just threw out a price. For example, I thought it was a good idea to say, because I ran into this guy that was selling a house and I used his house as an example just because it was that day, and fresh on my mind. But that was the wrong thing to do, because the guy selling that house was not in my market. And I mean, I wouldn't be the one selling that house for him. It just didn't make sense. But I used that as an example to talk to this guy. And so Sam basically walked away. He got my phone number and you know, I'll call you kind of thing. But I'm pretty sure that if I had known more about what he wanted, I would have been able to give him an offer that he was interested in. This message needs to really focus on them and what they want, not on something I guess that they would want. I've also learned that I need to define my niche well enough for myself to know who is not in my niche. For example, we talked about that last video as well. If I don't know what my niche is, I could attract other people and not be able to provide what they need because they don't fit in the niche that I'm serving. At this point, I have an even number of people that are interested in vacationing in Italy as opposed to moving to Italy. And so it's not clear which of these niches I should prioritize. I could prioritize both, but prioritizing one would allow me to be more expert in that category. So what do? Well, obviously, I need to talk to more people. What's echoing true for me is that if you stay silent, you're not going to get anything from your niche. And you cannot blame them if you're not able to answer their question or solve their problems. It's your message and your offer that isn't consistent with what they want. So together, we need to stop blaming, complaining. We need to stop being complacent. We need to stop analyzing and dreaming and worrying and just do something. Join that niche, join that community and be a part of it and be an expert in it over time. Share the message. So what's the message? I help frequently traveling Americans stop wasting money on lodging and start earning passive income by assisting them to find their Italian home away from home without spending real estate fees and title fees. How's that for a message? How did it sound this time? And don't worry, I'll watch it on my own. Anyway, if that's something that you're interested in, hit me up, or better yet, subscribe and learn for yourself as I post video after video for the next 76 days as I try to hit my 1,000 subscriber and YouTube partner program goals. Again, thanks so much for listening. Subscribe to the channel, like I said. Also, if you can share the video with a friend, that would be amazing. That way I can really hit this 1,000 subscriber goal. Try to target people that are interested in real estate and Italian lifestyles, because we don't want to waste everyone's time. But anyway, don't forget, the link is in the description. This is the last day of the week 1 of the Consulting Accelerator, and the next video will be a recap of everything. And so, yeah, thank you so much. It's been awesome, and I'll check you next time.